Hi, good afternoon. We are getting what is around your heart space at this time, and then we're gonna get your energy. And this is a pre-pull simply because I just pulled and I messed up the video and I was not about to re-pull just for like, you know what I mean? Like that would be fake. So we have past life, ecstasy, conflicted, peace, and depth. And with conflicted being here at the center, it just kind of seems like it's, I don't know, it's just kind of off energy. It kind of seems like reviewing repeated patterns, reviewing like your karmic lessons and stuff, and feeling conflicted about them. I don't know, maybe you thought that these things brought you a sort of a sense of like peace. Maybe you thought that these connections had depth to them, and that what you were really feeling was like this like ecstasy and just like really good feelings regarding this. But specifically for this ecstasy card, like I always equate that to what's that song, Cheap Thrills? Maybe I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. That's like, that's kind of what it gives to me, of like masquerading as ecstasy, really just like a cheap thrill, something that's not really authentic, something that's not sustainable, long lasting, that sort of thing. It's a good time, like a, you know, a good time gal, good time guy, non-binary person, what have you. So let's see, let's get some confirmations for these past life, and we'll go from there. It's like these realizations that you're having, kind of like the illusions are shattered, and now you have no choice but to confront them. Past life, we got nourish, which is interesting. Soul finding, self-focused, self-growth. I mean, yeah, so it's like now you were looking back on those things and seeing how much you probably weren't as focused on yourself as you needed to be, and how it was hindering your growth. And now that's like your growth focused now moving forward, right? Ecstasy, our good cheap thrills. Which, look, a cheap thrill isn't a bad thing, but like, is it the healthiest? Confessions, yeah. So being honest with yourself that like this wasn't all that like good for me, right? Like this is what's in your heart space, right? Like whether you're consciously aware of it or not, this is like deep down in your heart what you feel in your center. Conflicted, it didn't come out. That was confusion. It didn't fully come out, so we're not going to take it. Healing, moving past that, like cleansing out this conflicted energy, this state of being, like this state of despair, because you're focusing on yourself. Peace, that doesn't want to flip over. Hold on. Rejection, could it be that maybe you're seeing now how you rejected peace, like how you know how when you encounter an emotionally unavailable partner, and how maybe you have a repeated pattern of encountering emotionally unavailable partners, it takes you stopping to realize, oh hey, like I'm encountering these emotionally unavailable people because I am also emotionally unavailable in one way or another. So it's like understanding that you were rejecting peace. You thought that that's what you really like were going after, but you were rejecting it. Depth, I don't know what that was that almost tried to come out. Breaking point. Oh, breaking point and intuition. Let's get one more for that as it pertains to death. One more for that, please. Yeah, hopeless, intuition, breaking point, depth. The depth that like, this is kind of interesting, the depth at which you were like ignoring your own intuition, and how like deep this like, I'm getting like a well of hopelessness and how you finally reached your breaking point. Like it got so deep that like you were finally reaching your breaking point, kind of like finally actually hitting rock bottom. So it's pretty interesting. That's what's around your heart space at this time. We have bitterness at the bottom here. And look, when you have these sort of realizations, right? When you think that when it's like the illusions being shattered for you, that can make you pretty bitter, because it's like, I thought I was saying this correctly. I thought that I was, you know, healing and growing. And I mean, you were, like, you having these realizations now is you healing and growing, you being able to see that. So don't let that get lost in all of this. That is what's around your heart space. Let's see your current energy. And let's see like what, you know, what's the point here? What's the message here for you? We do have a new moon tomorrow in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is expansive, philosophical, wild, adventurous, very playful, kid-like, but wise. So, you know, like duality of self. You can both be the wise old sage or mage. Mage is more magic, but whatever. And also like that kid. Yeah, so here I can have a kid feeling. You can still, you know, have that kid feeling. So that could probably be something that is coming up for you. Actually, I grabbed this deck, but I'll switch in a second. We're just gonna see. We're just gonna get a couple from this deck. I started eyeing another deck, but I picked this one up for a reason, right? Slip-ups. Current energy of the collective, please. Current energy of the collective. Knight of Wands. So usually I view that as like very passionate energy. Hold on. Okay, hold on. This just got really juicy, and this makes the other thing like make so much more sense. Hold on one second. Yeah, my bad. So we have a Knight of Wands, Magician, Judgment, Two of Cups, Ace of Cups. If we're thinking about this in terms of what's also around your heart space, like this being your current energy, you're trying to move forward with something. As I said, that ash fell down and it fell pretty dramatically. Not the ones at the bottom of the deck here. Let's see. Knight of Wands. Ooh, Nine of Cups reversed. Knight of Wands, Nine of Cups reversed. That makes that conflicted energy make sense. It's like not actually going after the things that you actually want, not putting your focus, your passion, your energy towards what it is that you want, because on some level you don't necessarily believe that that is what you want, or like that you're deserving or capable of reaching or achieving or attaining the things that you want. But leaving that behind, right? Because we have the Magician here. Magician, but you know, 8 of Cups at the bottom of the deck there. Magician. Queen of Cups, yeah. Sitting with your emotions, sitting with your depth, right? Like we had intuition. We had intuition, breaking point, and hopeless confirming that depth. So it's like being able to come to terms with that in order to be able to alchemize that energy there with the Magician. That's what's in your energy right now. And like what was in your heart space is like what's going on underneath all of this Judgment. As I say, going inward, right? Like Four of Swords, going inward, contemplating, introspection, deep introspection on like your sense of stability, what's keeping you stagnant, the ways that you need to adapt, what you know needs to like be alchemized, and what you're going to do about it moving forward. Looking at yourself, seeing where it is that you are and where it is that you want to be, right? Like what's gotten you here thus far, and where you want to go moving forward. Two of Cups, trust, vulnerability, love, partnership. And I did get the feeling, two came out, hold on. I did get the feeling that Moon reversed and the Tower. That's interesting. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, so really understanding, because the Moon reversed, Tower, right? Like that's things coming to the surface. That's mental clarity, and that clarity on what it is that you need in partnership and love, and what you require to feel safe and be in union with another, within union with yourself, but within union with another as well. Like, it's like that realization is a huge Tower moment for you, which makes sense because what was around your heart space was this very conflicted energy on what you thought brought you peace, what you thought brought you ecstasy, kind of going over your past life patterns, seeing how they weren't necessarily serving you. That's what your heart was focused on. So this makes a lot of sense. It's confirming everything, right? Five of Swords, right? Conflicting thoughts. the epitome of conflicting thoughts. Ace of Cups. Four of Pentacles. I want one more for that. Oh, no, I really don't need it. Yeah, one more. Seven of Pentacles. That was the Seven of Wands. Hello. Kind of seem. One more. Excuse me. Okay, those dropped, so I had to go get them. Be proud of me, because normally I just let them stay, but it was a lot of cards, so I was like, that's kind of crazy to let them stay. Normally for Four of Pentacles, I get that as conservation, control, holding on to the thing, like grasping at the things in your material world, kind of not wanting things to change. But that coupled with the Seven of Wands, which is very much like making a stand, confirming the Ace of Cups, it's like, it's this new, like, heart opening, awakening sort of feeling within your heart of the things that matter to you, and the things that stand for something, or you fall for anything. It's like you're kind of finally understanding what it is that you value, what it is that you care about, what it is that you need moving forward, and standing on that, right? Like seeing at your core what's there when it's stripped away. And that's why it's like such a heart awakener, because it's like these illusions have been shattered here, right, with the Tower, and it's stripping away and revealing the true essence of you, of yourself. And now it's like, because you now know what it is that you actually stand for, instead of those like cheap thrills, which you like mistook for depth. Now you can stand on that. Now you can hold that dearly. Like normally Four of Pentacles is like very it has an essence of stagnancy, of clinging on too tightly. But now it's like with this energy, it's more so that you're holding on to this, you're protecting this, because you understand that what it is that you value, what it is that you need, is something that's worth protecting, and something that's worth standing up for. And that's very, very beautiful energy. Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck here is bringing you back to, again, that kid-like feeling, that, you know, your inner child, your joy, what it is that you need, right, moving forward. And so it's crazy that we go from this sort of all over the place energy with the Knight of Wands and the Nine of Cups reversed confirming it, to this sort of grounded, no, I actually do know what it is that I want, and I actually am going to go after what it is that I want, right? You know, no one's gonna tell me what it is that I want. And that's been heavy energy here lately, within the collective, of understanding. It's just like, without all the distractions, you're forced to actually see your heart. And I mean, it makes sense. Neptune just came out of retrograde. Neptune in Pisces retrograde, which was basically showing us all the illusions that we've, you know, been sort of sitting in with this period. And Neptune moves into Aries like January 26th or something, and that is not going to allow you to run from yourself. That's not going to allow you to lie to yourself anymore. And we're already feeling that energy. because I mean, we're a month out from that, like Neptune ingressing into Aries fully, right? And we got a little taste of that, but it's like, then we had to go back and revisit and really like redefine some things, really tweak some things, right? So that's when the illusion's fully shattered. So this has to be around your heart space, like regarding love, regarding like how you view love, how it is that you show up in love. I wasn't going to include this, but it actually tracks so much. I pulled these little animal cards last night, but left it because I didn't feel like getting into the message. I didn't have the energy, right? So we have wasp spirit, porcupine, nightingale, was that flamingo, starfish, bee. So wasp says that like sometimes life stings, and for me that's like sometimes love stings. And then like porcupine, time for a beginner's mindset. Life can prick you, life can be prickly, you can be prickly. I said that really weird. But also it can be used like as a protective mechanism. And what that has to do with a beginner's mindset, I actually don't know, but that just came up for a reason. So we're gonna rock and roll with it, because you know me. Nightingale spirit literally talks about there always being light and darkness. There always being love in darkness, even when you can't see it. It's very much like light at the end of the tunnel energy, but like love in the darkest and dimmest of places, right? Consider like the coldest, most remote, most removed place ever. There's still love to be found there. There's still love to be, you know, gained there, wisdom to be gained there. That sort of energy is coming through with nightingale, flamingo, embraced in between. And I think that just goes back to why I mentioned Neptune transitioning from Pisces into Aries. This is this in-between time where you're still shedding everything, right? And again, we do have that new moon in Sagittarius tomorrow. So it's like everything leading up to that new moon. It has been this in-between period. This what's the goo thing that you're covered in when a butterfly hasn't like kind of become a butterfly, you know what I mean? The cocoon. It's like the chrysalis phase. Like that's the in-between. We're still coming out of the goo of the chrysalis phase, right? So we're still in a bit of that in-between energy. Starfish, open to infinite possibility. And then bee spirit is sweet results away. But you know, bees are very much communal energy. So for me, it's just like you're in this transitionary phase, and while you're in this transitionary phase, you are making all of these realizations. You understand what it is that you need, what it is that you want. So now understand that life is infinite. The possibilities are infinite. You are limitless. You are boundless. And to rest in that and to have faith in that, you're going to find your honey, your sweet nectar, right? I'm getting like ambrosia, which is like nectar of the gods. You're gonna be sipping on the nectar of the gods very, very soon. And you just need to believe it. You just need to be willing to see it. At the bottom we have rabbit. Now is the lucky time. This is a very lucky, now is a lucky time, period. Also Sagittarius speaks to luck, right? Jupiter expansion. Anything can be expanded, right? But like luck is a huge thing with Jupiter. Jupiter is also exalted in Cancer right now, and Jupiter's retrograde, which you would think, I feel like this Jupiter retrograde is not like the retrogrades that we've had this year. This is kind of like a good sort of energy. It's not something that's like holding you back or anything. It's like you're seeding the ground, like laying the foundation. You're already reaping the rewards. You just don't see it yet. Like that's this energy, right? Like now is this lucky time that you don't see. And I honestly think like this is in regards to love for you, because Ace of Cups, Two of Cups did come out. But I don't know that it's energy that we need to like get into when it comes to like counterpart. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna see what's coming next. What's the energy coming towards the collective at this time? Please, Divine Spirit. We're just going to get 3, and then we're going to get actual cards to see. Okay, so 5 actually came out. The energy around you. Chariot, full speed ahead, strength of will, determination. Also, Chariot is Cancer energy. Solar eclipse. This is a cosmic trigger card. So within the next like 6 months, you're finding your inner truth. Actually, hold on, there's a bit of truth to that because I said it for a reason. But I have always allocated that the first because this deck has these sort of cards here. I've always allocated that the first one that comes out speaks to what you've been going through, right? Like, so the past 6 months, not the 6 months coming forward. So there's something to be said about that 6 months coming forward and sort of being rooted in your truth. But for the last 6 months, you've been trying to find your truth and using that truth like as a catalyst for change. That's like the things that are in your heart space that you can't really see, right? Again, that Jupiter in retrograde energy. Cancer, the subconscious. We had the moon reverse there coming to the surface, this clarity coming to the surface, causing this huge transformation. And it's like, this is both in part you doing this internal work spiritually, but it's also bigger than you. It's divine. It's cosmically aligned. That's what all of these planetary shifts are for. It's you know, it's bigger than you at this time. Bigger power, bigger. I'm breathless. Are you breathless? Are you out of breath? Are you moving really, really fast? Or it could be that like you're getting ready to like charge full speed ahead. And there's like this buzz of like excitement and like ready to go. There's like eagerness. I would say slow that down a little bit, ground it a bit more. But yeah, so for the last 6 months, you've been using, you're going to be using everything, like all of the wisdom that you've accumulated from the last 6 months. You're going to be using that to propel you forward here with the Chariot energy. And we have 10 of Swords. Well, it was not even in the frame. 10 of Swords. That's 10 of Swords reversed to 5 of Cups and 10 of Wands. Ten of Swords reverse is regeneration of a relationship, making it come back, reconcile over it, repair, moving on from the grief, the sadness, loss, being on the brink of collapse, over the limit, overwhelmed, almost there, overloaded, done. Finding your inner truth. I want one specifically for, and we have Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, which for in this deck speaks to being like swept off your feet, very passionate, love affair type of energy. I want one specifically for the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Wands here. Please, 5 of Cups, 10 of Wands. That was a lot. We have King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Okay. This transformation has been for you to let go of like the grief of the past, like everything that's been weighing you down, that's been keeping you from like seeing the opportunity that is yourself, how abundant you are. And it's not also me that on the other deck that we had, 5 of Cups is at the bottom of the deck there as well. For you to see like, for you to sort of sit in this energy of like a sense of self-worth, that's you finding your inner truth, right? That's the reconciliation that you are making within yourself. It is this confidence in yourself, this assertion of self-worth, your self-worth being cemented within you, so that you can see that you are abundant, you are trustworthy, you're secure in yourself, and responsible. King of Pentacles is very steady, stable, boss sort of energy. And that's what you're kind of moving into now, and how there is an opportunity moving forward. So let's see, what is this opportunity moving forward here as we sit in this King of Pentacles energy? We're gonna have to get a clarifier on that, because we have Six of Wands reversed, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and Page of Wands reversed as an opportunity here. Six of Wands reversed speaks to pride before the fall, right? Vain, conceited, self-centered. I mean, if you're not rooted in yourself, if you're not rooted in self-worth, you can come off as like a person with narcissistic tendencies, not an actual narcissist. And there is a difference between someone with narcissistic tendencies and an actual narcissist. And that's why it's so important that we be very careful with who we're calling a narcissist and what we're calling narcissism. That is actually a clinical diagnosis that entails a lot. I'm sorry, that's something I feel very, very passionately about. But yeah, you can have narcissistic like tendencies, and even then, even if someone does, I don't really like classifying people as that, because it can be such a slippery slope, right? Especially with people who aren't necessarily familiar with clinical terms, psychological like terms and conditions. And you know what I mean? Also read the book Terms and Conditions. That seems relevant. But then we have Page of Pentacles. So a more grounded, like beginner approach and how you do everything, right? So the opportunity there was coming out of this like self-centered, conceited energy. This energy where you're sort of like wrapped up in yourself, wrapped up in your own thoughts, kind of coming and going. You're not stable. Your thoughts aren't stable. And so it makes your trajectory in life unstable, right? Sitting in a lot of instability. And then also it makes your energy sort of inherently like lacking and draining and soul sucking, like very pessimistic, self-limiting, hasty, like I said, you know, the coming and going, not being rooted, right? So what's coming next is for you to really show yourself with this Chariot energy of like moving forward, like willpower, success, determination, like showing yourself that you have what it takes to continue to move forward with this, to let go of these burdens of this, right? Like you've gained a sense of self-worth, but are you gonna let go of the burden that this like was, right? Like it can be that you were a bit of a narcissist. It can be that you were a bit of an asshole, that you were flighty, that you were untrustworthy, you were hasty, you only thought of yourself, right? It can be that you're taking this beginner's mindset in life at this time, and how you approach your material world in regards to your money, your health, just everything regarding your own surroundings. It can be that, and it can be that that's okay, and that you still trust yourself to move forward, move through it. And you still see the opportunity in that, the beauty in that, right? In this beginner phase, this beginner mindset. You're just coming out of the chrysalis glue. Glue keeps you stuck, right? You're out of the glue, you're out of the goo, and that's a good thing. So see, what does Spirit want you to know with this? We're gonna get a couple of these, and then we're gonna get another deck. All right, Spirit, so what's the point of this? What is actually coming next? And of course it was going to be that, and this accidentally even flipped over, but we're going to take it. The Lovers reversed, the Fool, the King of Swords. And I mean, you were seeing like what didn't bring you success and love when it came to partnership and trust and vulnerability and all of that. Like what actually gave you a cheap thrill. And you're like, so what's coming next is for you to have a new beginning on a love that was like misaligned, that had this imbalance that was like stuck in this like sense of disharmony that lacked substance, because you have the mental clarity now, because you've gone within, because you're mentally stronger now, right? You're coming out as the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. That's beautiful, beautiful energy. It is a little cold, but logical and stable. And you know what? Given everything that you're coming through, like, I am not mad at King of Swords, King of Pentacles energy coming out for you and how you are moving forward and approaching love. I think that's actually going to be really, really good for you. I'm gonna get 3 of these. Gaslighter. Hate that word. You have to give yourself time. And I see gambling more as like taking a risk, because now you're about to take a risk on something. Something where luck is on your side. Taking a risk. What are we taking a risk on? Taking a risk on something that you were told no about. I stopped that at 3130, so 313. So something that had a big fat no on it because someone else was in the middle. We're only gonna get 3. Pets, but I more so see that as like spirit animals presiding over you. Even though we already pulled from this, we're gonna quickly see what spirit animal is over you at this time. Energy that you need to be embodying. Spirit animal that's guiding you at this time. Please and thank you, Divine Spirit. And what did I say? Wasn't it at the bottom of the deck here? Rabbit. Now is a lucky time. You need to be like a cute little bunny rabbit. Bunnies are soft. But they're, you know, they're cunning, smart little things, right? I'm gonna wrap this up. Really, because my Christmas music is lagging and the noise is getting on my everlasting nerve. All right, Divine Spirit, to close, please tell me about this love that's coming forward. And then we'll likely get into this energy a bit more tomorrow. Love that's coming forward. Something memorable. Something that brings you actual peace. That you always saw as like a one-day sort of thing because you kind of felt like it was like cursed. Something that needed a lot of boundaries. And I feel like you were the one that needed boundaries in your life. And now that you have them, there's this opportunity here for peace. For commitment, bottom of the deck there. Tell me more about this peace, this one day, this hoping. We have shadow, family, and finality. This, like, whatever sense of, like, stability, family, and peace that you're going after now, this thing that you always thought, like, maybe one day I could have it, you still thought that that was, like, a shallow wish of yours. Something that you needed to, like, leave behind. That family wasn't in the cards for you, right? That you had a lot of resistance towards. Like, what's coming for you moving forward in this relationship? Healing. Healing from the pain and all the confusion. Rejection wanted to come out but didn't. And the rejection, confessing about all of this, how you view this as shallow, like how at first you probably didn't see a family with this person, and how you thought that was the end, that this is something that you needed to leave behind because you were mistaking what it is that you actually find to be peace, right? Like, you're going through these memories and you're saying now, like, okay, with this person I actually did feel true peace. Like, I thought that was the cheap thrill, but it's like the thing that I was comparing it to was actually the cheap thrill, right? And so now it's time to come forward, confess, right? You thought that was cursed, and that's why you put up a bunch of boundaries. You thought that it was shallow, that it lacked depth. You weren't listening to your intuition, and it's time to own up to that. You were trying to escape from it, and it's not necessarily that you're in the wrong there. You thought that what you were seeing was the truth, was the reality. And so that's why this has been such a huge power moment for you, because it's like, this shifts the paradigm completely, right? This flips it on its head, right? You were being influenced. Then now you understand that it's only this person that you want. And I mean, the Chariot came out there, so I mean, that is what you're going after. It's like you're hopelessly in love. Hopeless. Oh, that's kind of beautiful. It's kind of beautiful. Get prepared, like, to chase this person, and not in like a toxic way. Just, you're ready to put your money where your mouth is. You're ready to clear up this confusion, clear up this like heart fog that is going on there. What was that just dropped? Hold on. The bitterness, how things were bitter and broken, right? I mean, you guys are probably reflecting that back to each other, but we can get into that person's energy tomorrow. So yeah, this is what I have for you. I don't think there are actions for you to take moving forward. This is very much like, again, this is bigger than you. So this is sort of the words of encouragement that you are on the right track, or that if you aren't on the right track, this is what is about to start happening, whether you like it or not. Because again, the theme here right now, just in total, is come hell or high water, we're dragging you into this new timeline. We're dragging you into this new reality. You can come willingly, or you can stomp your feet. Either way, you're coming. We can do this the easy way, we can do this the hard way. Truly up to you, right? Choose your fighter, choose your reality. That's the energy. Truly, that's the energy. So there's not much for you to do other than to sit in this. You can, easier, like, better call this in by sitting with yourself, meditating, really working with this heart opening energy that's coming towards you, the strength that's being offered to you. Because you have to remember, all of this came out. This is an energy that you need to start embodying. These aren't things that you need to start working on. That's why I started off with what is around your heart space at this time. This is stuff that's already happening, like on a DNA level, like quantumly. This stuff is already happening. This energy is already available to you. All you have to do is make the conscious effort to walk towards it. It's happening regardless. But if you make the conscious effort to walk towards it, it comes easier, it comes faster. You don't piss off the universe. You know what I mean? Because they're trying to grant you some real good shit. So let them. I love you so much. Have a wonderful day. And I just randomly got the urge to grab this deck. Give me one card. Card of focus for them, please. Temperance. Emotional stability, emotional balance, harmony, tranquility, all that. Find the peace in this. Find the peace in everything that's happening, in the upheaval. Ride the waves. That's all. I love you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye.